Yo, welcome to the Nerdy Soul, where we do shoes and board game reviews. My name is Chris, the geek in sneaks, and I am so excited to give you something that I've been really looking forward to doing, which is my top 10 shoe recommendations for board game conventions. So I basically want to make sure that you are looking good, you're feeling good as you peruse all the aisles and play all the games for like 8 to 12 hours straight for 3 to 4 days in a row. Like I said, when you're sitting down and you're playing games, your feet are comfortable, but also when you're walking around, that you don't kill your feet and you feel miserable at the end of the day, which is really difficult to do when you're at GenCon, you're at Origins or PAX or anything like that. So at the time of this video, PAX Unplugged 2024 is on the horizon, only a couple weeks away. So all the shoes that I want to recommend to you are things you could probably pick up and get and try out before PAX, which is very, very close. But this is an everlasting list, so let's just dive right in. So the first 3 shoes on this list, I'm actually going to refer to the experts at Fleet Feet Sports. They do a lot of selling of shoes, obviously, and they are a national brand, but they have a local branch here in Memphis. And so I went to their store, talked to their employees, and asked them what shoes they would recommend for people that are at the board game convention. So at number 10, we have the Brooks Ghost Max 2. Now, the Brooks Ghost Max 2 is going to retail somewhere around $150, and I will let my friends at Fleet Feet tell you a bit about that.
It's the Brooks Ghost Max 2. That one is really, really spacious inside. Again, another really high cushion shoe, a little softer than that Hoka, but not quite as soft as that New Balance.
Now at number 9, we're gonna have the Hoka Bondi 8. Now this shoe is one that you can find on Fleet Feet for $132, but on Amazon it's gonna be a little bit more expensive. Obviously there's gonna be tons of sales going on around this time of year, so definitely check out the best options you can find. But I really am a fan of Hokas. They do a great job. Obviously a lot of people love Hokas, but I'll let my friends at Fleet Feet tell you a little bit more about that, and we'll get a little bit closer look at the Bondi 8.
The next one that we sell a whole bunch for when you're on your feet a good bit is the Hoka Bondi 8. It's a very supportive, just very, very high cushion shoe. Really the name of the game with all these is cushion.
At number 8, we're going to go with the New Balance 1080. Now this is actually a shoe that I have owned and tried on before. I love New Balance's walking shoe line. The 1080s are my preferred shoe of those. They fit me fantastic. They do have a varying range depending upon if you get the 13 or 14, the version of it, the 12, etc. like that. So definitely want to try out which one of those fits you best. The bottom of the shoe is practically the same. The treading and the cushioning is, pretty similar across those lines, but the mesh and the upper starts to vary a little bit. So for this one, we're actually going to ask Fleet Feet what their thoughts are. This retails for $164, but I think on Fleet Feet, they've got it going for like $120. So let's hear a bit more about the New Balance 1080. Now let's get into the shoes that I personally have worn and done a lot of practice with at board game conventions and long walks. And so number 7 on the list is going to be the Adidas Explore Boost. I love the silhouette of this shoe. This was one of Adidas I feel like they took a big risk with this shoe. They introduced 3 different types of boost into this shoe. Obviously, you might have seen the Adidas Ultra Boost that's very popular. So you've got that. You've got the torsion system also built into this, which is one of their most popular systems that they have in their shoe for your sole and for structure support. And so with this shoe, it's pretty heavy. Like normally a lot of these walking shoes are trying to be light, they're trying to be nimble. This did the opposite. It went very heavy, it went very different in the look, but this performs really, really well on floors that have no carpeting whatsoever. So for instance, a PAX Unplugged, an Origins, things like that, convention halls that are not gonna have any padding and it's gonna be all concrete. These are gonna perform really, really well for you. So today at GenCon, this is day 3. I'm gonna be wearing the Adidas Explore Boost. It's kind of got a weird name, but they're super comfortable. So I kind of mentioned that concrete flooring, you need a little bit extra cushion. These shoes are really, really great for that. It's got 3 different types of boosts in the shoe. So I've got some Apothecary socks on that also have some breathability with some additional support. And I'm going with this like kind of lime green. I call it my Prowler look. You know, a little Spider-Man reference for those out there. I do a little looser tie of the laces because you don't really need the laces, but it's good to have for that additional support. Make sure your foot is nice and tight.
Really easy to slip these bad boys on. Don't even need to tie the laces. Come in, boom, we're good to go.
They also do have some really great colorways like this one. And so again, I'm a very big fan of this silhouette. They are not really out anymore. So it's going to be hard to pick them up, but you can find them on Amazon. They're not on Adidas website anymore. What I would recommend is if you go to Amazon, you might be able to do the try before you buy feature. They go anywhere depending upon the color scheme from 80 to 100 bucks. I would try it out for that on the try before you buy, but then try to get a second hand version of it like on eBay, something like that. But this is one that's number 7 on the list of recommendations, but it's a great looking shoe. It feels really great. It's got a lot of squeak to it. You're gonna feel like you're walking on clouds, but that can also sort of hurt your feet sometimes. So check them out if you're interested. But that's number 7, the Adidas Explore Boost. Coming in at number 6, I'm gonna be recommending the Allbirds Mizzle Runner. Now this is a little bit different than the standard wool runner or the tree runner. This is the waterproof version of Allbirds line, and the reason I'm recommending this over the classic wool runner is because of the stability of the sole. So you've got a lot of cushion here in the bottom, but it's also very firm. Obviously the waterproof wool material is going to keep your feet, dry if you run around in rain or anything like that out in the, outside of the hall. So that's a big bonus. The other reason I'm recommending these over the standard Allbirds is just because you get that stability on carpeted flooring specifically. I feel like when I'm wearing the traditional wool runners, I can't wear them for extended periods of time. They're great for casual walking around. Game nights they're fantastic in. You can kind of unhave the laces, but for long periods of time, the wool Mizzles have performed really, really well for me, especially at GenCon. They also come in this high top version, and so I definitely think this is something I'll be wearing at PAX Unplugged, depending upon the weather. I'm gonna have it in stow just in case it gets very wet, but there's a lot of good heel stability in this shoe. I think that you have a lot of really good positives with this Allbirds Mizzle, but I love the fact that your feet do not smell from this. I mean, look, nothing. And I love that about Allbirds. I think that they're somehow using this wool material have mastered the fact that your feet don't smell. And this wool insole does a great job of, staying true and comforting. So it doesn't have a ton of stain on it. And I've worn these so much. I've worn them without socks. You can do that. I would not recommend that for a board game convention, but definitely one that you can do casually. So that is going to be number 6, the Allbirds Mizzle Runner. That's gonna, depending on sales, range anywhere from like $87 to $125 at normal, but you can go to Allbirds Rerun, which will have deals on these. They're a slightly used version of these shoes, and with the right pair of socks, you can do a lot of work in these and have a good time. I'm going to kind of cheat my list a little bit since we're talking about Allbirds here at number 6. I'm just going to introduce the fact that I do own the latest version of the Allbirds Tree Runner, which I think could be a good recommendation to add to this list in the future. I haven't had enough times to wear it to really say for certain that it's going to perform well, but it greatly improved on the comfort level of the Tree Runner. And I think it's something that I'm going to bring with me to PAX and see how it performs. It's got a lot more cushion in the heel, and so you'll notice that this silhouette is very nice. The traction on the bottom of the shoe also is greatly improved from before. I feel like this is going to last a lot longer. The laces are more flat, and the tongue also has these straps on the middle of it that are going to lock in for your feet, and that's going to give you a bit more stability, but they have a lot more breathability with this new texture, a lot more heel support as well. So I think these are ones that could have a lot of potential to be competitors for this list, but I can't recommend them just yet because I haven't had a chance to test them. But so far, so good. Coming in at number 5, I'm going to be recommending the Nike Vomero 5. Now, this shoe is one of the most popular shoes that have hit the market recently. This is the premium, the luxury version of the Vomero 5, which to me is probably one of their best looking shoes. I just got these in, but I love me some Vomero 5s. I think that for me, these do a lot of really good things. One, it has a good stable support system for your foot, but also a wide base, so that way when you're standing for long periods of time, your foot is not constricted. I also think that they did a great job with the cushioning system. So this has got Nike Zoom, but it's got additional cushion, as you can see here just on the outside label right here. They say that they've got some additional cushion built into these. And so I greatly think that these are going to perform really well. I've worn Vomeros for, a while in general, but these are the first premium version that I've had. And I think that they're going to do a great job. I'm going to be wearing these probably to some smaller conventions first and then going from there. But the Vomero kind of ranges, so it depends on if whatever color you want. Right now, Nike's running a big sale. You can probably get them for around $100. These premium, they're like $180. So it gets pretty expensive pretty quick depending upon the style that you want. But you've got plenty of color options. They've been around, so definitely check out the Vomero if you're interested. Coming in at number 4, I'm going to be recommending the Brooks Launch 9/10. So this is a shoe that I personally don't own, but was around some friends of mine who I brought to GenCon for the first time. This was their first board game convention to attend, so I decided I'd bring them to the biggest one. And they had a blast. They had a great time. They got to introduce themselves to some new games, but most importantly, I was asking them how their feet were feeling, and the Brooks Launch 9 were performing super well for them. So I'll let them tell you a little bit why they love the Brooks Launch 9, and then we'll hit it back over here. All right, it's the end of Gen Con day 4. I got my friends here with me. This is their first Gen Con. We're gonna see how their feet are feeling, any tips they might have for first time attendees. All right, so how your feet, how they feel?
Feeling good, feeling good. Been on the Brooks, the launches, the 9s. They've been doing all right for me. I think anytime you're standing up for a long period of time, your feet are gonna hurt a little bit, but it helps minimize how much they hurt. So feeling pretty good after a good weekend.
I'm also in my Brooks Launch 9s, and really my heels are hurting just a little bit, but that's kind of typical for me where I would normally feel it after a long event or weekend or day at work standing. But other than that, not too terribly bad.
Yeah.
Like just a normal wear and tear that I would normally feel.
Now you were wearing some sandals yesterday, and you said that was really helpful. What sandals were you wearing, and what was that like?
So I was wearing branded Keen sandals, I think is how you say it. They are like more of like a water hiking like adventure sandal, but it was my first time wearing them out and about, and I was like, might as well try them out, see if they've got good support and whatnot, and they really do. I felt very good with them, and afterwards, like I felt after wearing my Brooks the first day and then wearing those all day yesterday, my feet felt better after I took them off yesterday than I did the first day after I took my Brooks off. So that's good news on a new pair of shoes. So
yeah. All right, there you have it. That is like pretty great insight for, first timers at Gen Con. So again, I appreciate my friends for joining me and telling me about the Brooks launch. So the 9 was the previous version. The 10 is the latest iteration. That's gonna go for around $100. Again, these are all during sale times of the year with, you know, Black Friday and then Christmas coming up. So you're probably gonna get some opportunities to get these at a steal. If you can use the Amazon try before you buy option with these, I would definitely check that out. But the Brooks Launch 9 has got a great silhouette. It's got tons of cushioning at a very affordable price for a Brooks shoe. Brooks is, you know, really well known for having great shoes, so definitely want to recommend them here at number 4. All right, coming in at number 3, we have the Adidas Ultra Boost Lite. This is another one of my favorite shoes that I own. I own several pairs of these. I love the silhouette of them. They are my favorite walking shoe. When I go walking, I wear the Ultra Boost Lite. What I love about this shoe is the heel. So as you can even see right now, that it's got a lot of bend to it. So what it does, it's gonna spring back your step every time you walk. So as you're walking, you're gonna kind of feel a little bit of a boost pushing you forward. That's because these are meant for walking and meant for running. But one thing that these shoes do well that I feel like make it good for a board game convention is it doesn't propel you forward. A lot of running shoes, marathon shoes that try to be in the walking realm, they're propelling you forward. So as you're taking a step, you're going to really be kind of going forward. So there's chances for you to fall. I mean, if you're just walking around a board game convention. These give you spring, but don't propel you. And they do a great job of, one, being light. These are very, very light. And they have a great base on the heel. And they've got Continental Tire rubber on the traction on the bottom. So it doesn't matter if it's raining, it doesn't matter if it's carpet, or if it doesn't matter if it's concrete, you're gonna have traction to, you know, get around everybody trying to go get that latest board game drop. Don't run them, that's against the rules. So yeah, I'm a big fan of these. The lace cage on the outside, I don't ever lace these up, I just intertwine my laces between the lace cage and it performs super, super well. I can just slip them on and off very easily. I think that another thing that I like about these shoes is the foam padding in the heel, but it does come at a little bit of a cost. Things can get stuck in there like sticks pretty easily. They can puncture, but just pull it out, keep going, and you're on your way. One really good thing about GenCon is that they have all carpeted areas. So as you're walking around, as you're kind of exploring, you're going to have some cushion already on your feet than what your shoes are providing in addition to that. So when you have that extra little bit, it's going to help you a lot throughout the day. So far, so good. It is only 6:20. So still a few more hours left in the day, but overall, feet are feeling good, knees are feeling great. I'd say it's a win. Anyway, this is gonna be number 3. They are kind of not all over the place. Again, Adidas doesn't make them anymore. They have moved on to the Ultra Boost 5 and 5M. Those are their latest shoes. I think those will definitely be a contender for this list next year, or in a few months when I redo it probably, but I haven't had a chance to test those just yet, and I think that they will be a good addition when it comes time. But you can still find these on Amazon or secondhand sellers. Dick's Sporting Good might have them, but definitely check out eBay and etc. You can probably get them for a steal. But yeah, that is going to be number 3, the Adidas Ultra Boost Lite. Coming in at number 2, we're going to have the Nike Pegasus 41. Now, this was definitely one of my favorite purchases of this year. I love this shoe. It is sort of an upgraded version of the Ultra Boost Lite, in my opinion. It does everything the Lite does well from Adidas, but a little bit better. And so, again, you've got a lot of heel counter here for this shoe. To me, this is just a fantastic colorway as well. It feels sporty. It feels like you can kind of dress it down. It goes well with jeans. But most importantly, it's super, super, super comfortable. So the laces are not very thick. They're very thin and they tie in really well to the lace straps. There's no real cage with this shoe, which I think is great for breathability purposes. The mesh is sort of dual layered. So you've got the tongue that also has mesh, which is a really good addition to this shoe. It just feels like there's breathability built all throughout this thing. Another thing that I really like about this shoe is the heel counter. So this has got Nike React in it, and you can see by my hand pushing that you've got a good amount of cushion, but Also, you've got a ton of support, which for me is very important because a lot of times you're just standing up or you're watching a demo, and so you need that support just standing as well. The heel is very firm, it comes up a little bit higher, and this is actually a little bit more firm than the heel counter to me, which is even better for it. I love this little detail on the lace cage. You've got a little Pegasus logo there on the lace cage, which I think is just, you know, what Nike does really well with their branding. So yeah, another thing about these is the insole has got a ton of cushioning in it. So it's pretty thin, but it's got these dimples for breathability mesh, which I have found to be very beneficial for me personally. And I love the color. So yeah, I've worn these at GenCon. They performed really, really well at GenCon.
Day 2 of GenCon, and feet feel great. The Nike Pegasus works really, really well with carpeted flooring. There was a moment when we were in the play area, the big, huge play area for the convention, where everyone's just playing games, and it was concrete. And so there was no carpet, there was no extra support, and that is probably the only time my feet really, really hurt. And we were there for maybe 30 minutes just standing, and I definitely had pain. Immediately going back through the convention hall, in the exhibit hall, and everywhere else where there was carpet, it was great. Even now, standing outside where I'm in the parking lot, my feet feel good. So I think because these are running shoes, they do really well on pavement and everything, but in a big convention center hall that's not carpeted, I don't know if I can necessarily recommend them for that.
So I will let you know after PAX how these perform. But yeah, this is going to be number 2 shoe to recommend, the Nike Pegasus 41. All right, so here it is, number 1, my top recommendation for shoes, sneakers to wear at board game conventions. That is going to be the Reebok Active Lite. You're kind of like, wait, Brooks, Nike, Saucony, Asics, Hoka, you know, all these great shoe brands, and you're gonna recommend Reebok as number 1? Yes, for a few different reasons. One, this shoe is crazy comfortable, and crazy affordable. So right now you can get this shoe for around $30, $33 with a lot of sales. Retail it goes for $60. This to me is like the perfect shoe for, you see like the group of people doing the power walk at the mall, like in the movies in the old days. This is like a shoe built for them. And honestly, that's who we are at board game conventions. We are that group of people walking the mall, you know, speed walking to go to the latest demo or try to make our appointment. Like, we are those people, and this shoe was built for us. This shoe is very light. It's very breathable, despite kind of not looking like it'd be breathable. This fabric to me feels almost like a blanket. You know, it doesn't have a ton of mesh in it, but it definitely is breathable, and it's comforting. You know, with the right sock on there, it just feels like there's not much going on your foot. It's very Allbirds adjacent to me in that way, in terms of look and in terms of performance. It's got better traction on the bottom for me than Allbirds, despite not having continental rubber or any additional rubber on that traction. It performs really, really well. It's done great for me in wet conditions and dry. I personally think Reebok has the best laces on the market for some reason. I don't know why, but every pair of Reeboks that I have, they've got great laces. It's got really good support in the heel, as you can see there on the heel cuff and on the sides. So you're going to get enough support there as well to keep you stable for standing. But for me, the real kicker is the insole. And so this insole is Reebok's Memory Tech Ortho Lite Comfort Footbed. And for me, this is what makes and breaks this shoe. It just makes every step feel so comfortable, makes every step feel, you know, like I'm sleeping on a foam mattress.
So, final day of GenCon. I've been carrying bags all weekend. Not only carrying bags, literally, from my eyes, the bags. I'm weighed down. I have no sleep. It's been crazy. But today, for the final day. I'm wearing Reebok DMX walking shoes for men. These are some of my favorite low-key affordable shoes. Obviously doing a lot of walking in GenCon. Save these for the last day because they are super clutch. I gotta say, these things are crazy comfortable. My feet were hurting last night. We got back to the Airbnb, played some games. My feet were kind of hurting. The Explore Boost, while great, they are a little bit tight on the shoe, on your foot. But these Reeboks, they've almost made my feet feel healed almost instantly. So we'll see how today goes. It's a shorter day. The haul ends at 4 and then, driving back home. So yeah, let's get after it.
I think that if you're looking to get a new shoe very quickly and you don't really want to risk having, this huge investment of $100+ and you don't really know if it's going to work out, I highly recommend just giving this Reebok Active Lite a try. It's got the DMX built into it, which is Reebok's sort of structure for their walking shoes, but it's important to not get the DMX shoe on their website, in my opinion. That shoe is very, very tight. It's very, very firm. It's not very meshy. So check out the Active Lite. That's the one that I'm recommending. It's got like 3 colors in men's and a few colors in women's, but they can go between, unisex sizing. You just might find it difficult to find a larger men's size. They have like an orange color of these that I really wish they had my size in because I would be wearing them all the time. But I go with the white. And you can just throw these into the washing machine, just straight up toss them in there, and get them washed really easily. So I wouldn't worry about even dirtying them up. So yeah, that is gonna be Reebok Active Lite coming in at my #1 top recommendation for shoes to wear at board game conventions. So that's the list for this year, 2024. I'm super pumped to have finally put this together. It's something that I want to try to bring to the board game community, is helping them find the best pairs of shoes. But hey, I'm not a be-all, know-it-all. So if you've got great shoes that you wear, that you love, let me know what shoes you like to rock at board game conventions or meetups or game nights, etc. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to check them out. We can all learn from each other. But hit me up in the comments, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, enjoyed this content. Let me know what else you would like to shoe. I'm definitely going to be doing some sneaker drops soon for, things like Jordans, things that aren't comfort-based necessarily, but helping you to just find some cool shoes that you can wear and look good for game night. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and remember, stay nerdy
And keep that soul dirty.
Let's go. That's what's up.